Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 228 of Bill Man the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Bill Man the Sports Guy. For the latest news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, WNBA, this is the podcast to be. All right, we're going to start off with college football news that has came out recently. It is LSU. They have fired former Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly. Honestly, Brian Kelly and LSU have been struggling ever since he has become part of the head coach for LSU. And, you know, he's out in Baton Rouge after leaving Notre Dame for LSU in a blockbuster move after the 2021 season. He only won 10 games in each of his first two seasons, overseeing a Heisman Trophy from Jane Daniels, but the progress has not been there. The Tigers are 5-3 this season despite high expectations and haven't nearly had the kind of offense they expected. LSU joins what's going to be a banana coaching carousel. So I still think Brian Kelly is a solid college football coach. Could he be NFL capable? It's a possibility, but honestly, ever since 2019, back when Joe Burrow was the quarterback. Now, even though LSU did have a good season with Jaden Daniels, but LSU has not won a championship, and they have not succeeded since Brian Kelly joined as head coach. So I thought it was the right move. Be curious to see where Brian Kelly goes to next, but I'm not expecting much from LSU this season, especially with, as partially quoted, with the whole head coach carousel. That's going to be very interesting. And in another football movement in terms of the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have started to um, retool, or not retool, but they basically started to sell mode already as they trade Roger McGeary to the Los Angeles Rams, who's also a cornerback, for a fifth and sixth round pick. Now, it wasn't specific in terms of what years, but after Mike Vrabel's firing and he's played a low 60% of snaps this season, and he's a lot of career worse, 111.6 passing rating when targeted. Now, it's possible. Now, dare I say, maybe not count out the Rams as Super Bowl contenders because adding Roger McGeary to the defense is a good solid depth and a good solid move. And I actually think he's going to do really well in Los Angeles now that he is free from the Tennessee Titans. Now, as for the Titans, listen, they're just going to get younger. They're going to get more draft picks. They're going to get more young superstars soon. And I'm also wouldn't be shocked if they were in the Archie Manning sweepstakes. So good solid move on both sides. Just have to wait and see how it pans out. Now, with the World Series going on at the time of this recording, the Blue Jays have a 3-2 series lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers. I still have the Los Angeles Dodgers in 6 games. But the real baseball news we're going to talk about is the Baltimore Orioles have hired Craig Albernaz as their new head coach or their new manager. I mean, technically the same term. He spent 4 seasons as the Giants bullpen and catcher coach. Now, he was part of Stephen Vogt's coaching staff last season. Now, in 2025, he was the associate manager. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how he runs the Baltimore Orioles this season. Surely they're going to be a lot better this offseason, but we'll have to wait and see. This is an interesting move for right now. I don't have a full thought if I think he's going to do well. I hope he does well, but I think him becoming the Orioles manager was interesting. Also, another football NFL news, the Detroit Lions have signed Adrian Hutchinson to a 4-year, $180 million contract. Now, he has been healthy so far this season. Adrian Hutchinson has 6 sacks and 13 quarterback hits in 7 games. So that's enough for the Detroit Lions to sign after missing most of 2024 with a horrific knee injury that looked really, really bad. And, the contract will take him through the 2030 season. And I like this move a lot for the Detroit Lions. I think Adrian Hutchinson is one of the best defensive football players this season and since he's gotten in the league. So I like this contract a lot, and I think he's going to be a good core part of the Detroit Lions defense for many years to come. So I like this a lot for the Detroit Lions. Also, hockey move. Logan Cooley signs an 8-year, $80 million contract extension with the Utah Mammoth. And I think this is an interesting signing. I think when Logan Cooley does play good, he always has the potential. Now, 12 points in 11 games or 13 games. I think they've played a game already since the extension. And, it sounds like to me that Logan Cooley's going to be part of that Utah Mammoth core to help them win the Stanley Cup this season. And this is a solid signing. I think he's actually going to do very well with the Utah Mammoth. Now, um, a hockey fact to give out: Connor Bedard, who's 20 years old, 103 days, becomes the third youngest player in Blackhawks history at the time of their first NHL hat trick, which is even insane. And one more hockey move to talk about: Lukas Reichel was traded by the Chicago Blackhawks to the Vancouver Canucks for a draft pick. Solid signing. This tells me new change, new scenery. I had a feeling Lukas Reichel was going to get traded. It was just a matter of when and what team. And I wish him nothing but the best of luck for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, we are now going to go to the NFL Weekly Power Rankings heading into week number 9. All right, starting off with number 32, the New Orleans Saints. Their match against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was really ugly. Nothing was going good for the Saints. That's pretty much about it. Number 31, the Tennessee Titans got killed. They got destroyed by a really good Indianapolis Colts team, 38-14. Honestly, as I said earlier the with the trade earlier involving Roger McGeary. The Titans are basically going to trade everybody except for Cam Ward. And right now, I wouldn't be shocked if we still see Tennessee basically blow up part of the roster and try and make them more younger caliber to get them into the Super Bowl talks. Now, number 30, I'm going to go with the New York Jets, even though they barely squeezed their first win of the season against the Cincinnati Bengals, but it's the Jets. Long overdue for a win, but how many more are they going to get for the rest of the season? Number 29, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, to me, even though they did had a bye week, but just not a lot to expect from the Raiders this season. Definitely been one of the more disappointing teams in the NFL this season. Number 28 is the Cleveland Browns. Got smacked by the New England Patriots, and that's really all I got to say. Number 27 is the New York Giants. They were kind of there against the Philadelphia Eagles, but then they still lost, but 18-point deficit. Um, Giants are a young team. Just another NFL team that I don't have a lot to say after their match. Number 26 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Really, after the really high scoring game, only losing by 1 point to the New York Jets. Bengals, and rumor has it that they're going to start Jake Browning in their next match, which is going to be interesting because the Bengals, it's clear that they are lost without Joe Burrow. Number 25, Minnesota Vikings. Let's be honest, the Vikings did not show up at all against the Chargers. Justin Jefferson had an okay game. Defense was meh. Offense was meh. That was about it. Number 24, the Arizona Cardinals. While they did had a bye week, but I'm still not expecting a whole lot from the Cardinals this season. Number 23 is the Miami Dolphins. Kudos to them. They picked up a 34-10 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. If they could keep it up, they could be wild card. They could sneak into the wild card this season, is what I'm trying to say. Number 22, the Washington Commanders. I mean, there's not a lot to say. The team just did not show up against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 21, the Carolina Panthers. I mean, what else is there to say? They're just not expected to be a good team this year, and they got beat pretty badly by the Buffalo Bills 40-9. Number 20 is the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, we all have teams we struggle with, and the Falcons struggle pretty badly against the Miami Dolphins, but I still believe they could be dark horse Super Bowl contenders this season. Number 19 is the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they got beat pretty badly by 20 against the Denver Broncos, and there is not a lot to say after that. Number 18 or 19. Yeah, 19 is the Dallas Cowboys. Number 18 is the Chicago Bears. Down by a little bit with the Baltimore Ravens, but then the Ravens just took charge. And Caleb Williams once again looked very streaky. Um, Hope he can clean it up for their next match. If the Bears want to make progress and make the postseason. Number 17, Baltimore Ravens. A much needed win, but it still shows what the Ravens are without Lamar Jackson. Number 16 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, hey, they've kind of been surprising this season. And, this week they showed more surprises. Or, no, they did have a bye week. I take that back. But anyway, number 15 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They led Green Bay cakewalk them. Tucker Kraft had a field day. Romeo Dobbs had a good day. Josh Jacobs showed up. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about the Steelers. Well, they've been okay, but they're not Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion. Number 14 is the Houston Texans. They did pretty well against the San Francisco 49ers and hope they can keep it up for the rest of the season. Number 12 or number 13 is the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're an okay team, and I think they're a wild card contender, even though they did lose by 11 to the Houston Texans. But I still won't count them out after this game. Number 12 is the Seattle Seahawks. Had a bye week, and with the upcoming matches, this is where I'm just going to leave Seattle for right now. Number 11, the New England Patriots. I gotta admit, the Patriots have been my surprise team in the 2025 season. Drake May has been balling out. Stephon Diggs is doing wonderful on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has shown up. Hey, we're seeing, hey, at least the Patriots are over 500, so kudos to them. Number 10, the Los Angeles Chargers. I hope they can keep it up for the rest of the season as, they destroyed the Minnesota Vikings. And that's about it. Number 9 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, while they did give the New York Giants a run for their money, but it also didn't feel too easy as while they did beat them by 18 points, excuse me, but at one point it just looked like the Giants were getting a bit closer before the Eagles pulled off the W. Number 8 is the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, the offense, the defense showed up. This was a really good win for the Denver Broncos. Number 7 is the Buffalo Bills. I believe in Josh Allen. I believe in the Bills offense. And I believe in the Bills defense. But can they keep it up for the rest of the season? And especially in the playoffs, whenever they keep running into Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Speaking of the Chiefs, they're number 6. They've been playing better as of lately. They definitely kicked the Washington Commanders' butt. And it's possible we can maybe put the Chiefs back into Super Bowl contenders. Who knows? Number 5 is the Indianapolis Colts. I gotta admit, the Colts are actually pretty good. Daniel Jones has looked amazing. Jonathan Taylor's been doing awesome. Honestly, I'll admit when I'm wrong, but the Colts have been pretty good this season. At number 3, or no, not number 3. I'm sorry. Number 4, the loss. You know what? I skipped part of it. Number 5 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry, I flopped 3, 4, and 5 altogether, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 5. Dominant win, but I feel like some of the teams did a lot better this week. Number 4 is the Detroit Lions. The Lions, they kind of gave it to them. Or actually, they had a bye week. I apologize. But, Detroit, I still think they'll be a really top team by the end of the week. All right, we already talked about the Colts number 3. So number 2 is or 4 is the Los Angeles Rams, which, they were a bye week, and I think they'll be pretty good. 2 is the Detroit Lions. I already talked about the Lions. Sorry, I had this all mixed up. And then number 1, the best team in the NFL heading to week 9 is the Green Bay Packers. They really showed up to play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion. I thought Jordan Love had a really good game, and he's the second or third quarterback in Green Bay history to hit 20 plus or to hit like 20 plus straight plays with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Pretty impressive record. But Jordan Love looked good. Christian Watson looked amazing in his first game back. Josh Jacobs looked good. I really liked what I saw from Romeo Dobbs and Tucker Kraft. That was awesome. Defense came to play. And that's pretty much it. If you got thoughts and opinions on this episode, always let me know on Twitter at BillmanSports, Instagram at BillmanSportsGuy, and here on YouTube at BillmanSportsGuy. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 228 of Billman the Sport Guys podcast. I'm your host, Billman the Sports Guy. For the latest news of the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, and WNBA, this is the podcast to be. Stay tuned for episode number 229. Peace.